Good morning. Good morning. How we all doing out there?
Good morning.
We have some energy. Somebody have something good from the weekend they want to share with us? It's going good. Positives. Great to share. Thank you, Steve. What's going on, brother?
I got my first accepted offer with you guys, so that's moving in the right direction. So I'm looking forward to hopefully
Yeah.
getting to the finish line.
Awesome. Awesome. A little bit, how long you been working that client and what did it take? Anything special to get the offer accepted?
Yeah, so it's been pretty good learning experience. I just signed with this guy as a Zillow lead. I want to say the first week of November. We've seen a handful of houses put in an offer. We didn't get it. Put in another property, didn't get it. Both those properties came back on the market. We submitted a second offer on one of them, didn't get it again. Just kept looking at houses. We found this one. Uh, and I think we had a little bit more wiggle room on his pre-approval budget. So we were able to put in an escalation clause, which got us the deal done because
Yeah. Awesome.
um, his
Awesome.
his what he was going to put as the highest and best for the deadline would have been short of what the best one was. So I encouraged him. I said, "Hey, if you don't really want to lose out, I said you have room in your budget, like you said, and we can at least have them show us their cards of what the highest is, and then you can decide if you can go 1,000 over or not." And it worked. So
Nice.
we got it.
Well, why did do you know why the two deals came back to market? Was it inspections? Was it mortgage?
So the first one was the garage. It needed like a total tear down or total rehab. So that was something the buyers didn't like. The second one, the listing agent said, "Yeah, we accepted their offer. I called and they're ghosting me." And then they called back and said, "Yeah, we don't want it."
Yeah.
So they
Yeah. And
didn't, there
this
was no
is
one.
so these are good stories, right? So this is what you guys got to be careful of when you're on the listing side is do you have a buyer that's all in, right? You can have somebody that wrote an all in offer, awesome offer, 10,000 over, waive inspections, but are the clients all in? Is the agent all in? Is the lender all in? Anybody can just write an offer, right? Delivering through on that offer is another story. So on the listing side, please, right? So now you're coming back begging the other group of buyers, and I promise you, you're going to end up with less. So we really on the listing side, please go deep on who we're doing business with, because I feel like that's happening a lot. And hopefully, Steve, you had built up the rapport, even though you didn't get those offers accepted, that there's some dialogue there, right? And this is why I'm encouraging you guys, even if you don't get the offer accepted, be talking to them the few days after, the week after. Hey, how are inspections going? Remember, my guys are all in. If you're getting any kind of, you're getting ghosted, you're getting nervous, my guys are all in. Right. We're not going to do this with every client, but if you've got a client that's all in, you got to stay on top of that listing agent so that the first minute that they're getting that, oh my God, I don't know about this buyer, or in this case, not even calling them back. Hey, you know what? I don't want to deal with this. My client doesn't want to deal with this. I'm calling Steve Henn. I know he was all on this thing. He was the first guy to submit an offer. They were right there. They had great terms. It's just we went for a couple grand and now we're kicking ourselves. Let me go and see if I can secure that deal. That's what I'm thinking of. Is these are how these situations are playing out. So, did anybody want to just add some color around this, Lauren?
Yeah, I just want to speak to when he did his escalation clause, he knew the difference also between a set escalation and the open-ended escalation and was able to really clearly explain open-ended to his clients, used the pain point, hey, all right, we could escalate to 260 on this one. How would you feel if you find out the person that won this got it for 262? Right? That's kind of a method that I believe I learned from you, Steve. Kind of getting to that actual high point when we're doing escalations, either with set numbers or utilizing that open-ended with the short response time. So a couple different ways that we can utilize that one clause.
Awesome. Awesome. Who else wants to add some color around this? Who's been through this recently? Who's been on the listing side and then, you accepted an offer and found out these guys weren't really that serious. We don't even get to inspections, or you get to inspections and they're being absolutely ridiculous. Or who's been on the buy side and had a situation where they're calling you back. I want to hear more of these stories. I really want to drill this into your heads. Just because you lose your initial offer doesn't mean that deal is dead to you. If you've got a buyer that's ready, willing, and able, and you know they're going to close on that deal, stay on that listing agent. Shaston, I think you were first.
Yeah, I just had something very similar. On my listing, I got an offer. It was actually a very appealing offer. My sellers were completely ready to take it. And about 2 hours after they had sent it, the buyer's agent reached out to me and said, "Oh, sorry, the pre-approval fell through. It looks like they didn't run the credit first time around and XYZ." So, I mean, I'm finding like even if I'm requiring that proof of funds or pre-approval, it's like sometimes I don't even know if that's, in good standing at the time that they send it. She said something about it had expired and they had to run numbers to get a new one. So those are the kind of things like when you accept those offers, you've got to pull the property off the market. So if I'm betting that these, qualifications are accurate, then my seller, I'm advising them to take it off the market. And it really puts us in a bind if that buyer's not really qualified. So yeah, not a good situation, but hopefully they come back once they get everything, kind of all their ducks in a row.
Alex, you had your hand up as well.
I did for a little bit when you were just saying how many times on the listing side you guys take an offer and then it just ends up being kind of like an offer from hell. Luckily, every single time I'm in that position, we end up getting it through to the finish line, only because it's like taking the risk of getting rid of this one and going after the other people. Chances are they probably already walked away because we've already had that happen several times. So at this point, it's just like, take what you have and run with it. I'll use that as leverage and I'll tell them, listen, if you guys don't straighten up, we do have a backup offer. If we have, or we do have multiple people I can contact about this that are seriously interested. But the seriousness is the majority of the time, it just doesn't play out that way. It's good for leverage at least.
Yeah, I mean, you guys got to know what your leverage is, right? And it doesn't mean like, Shaston on this situation where they don't have the pre-approval, get them to our preferred, right? I mean, in that situation, if those people come back and you've got a pre-approval from a lender that you've never done business with, I'd be shitting my you-know-what. Like, how the hell they just said they can't get the deal done, and now they're going to come back to you and say, oh, wait, we've got it squared away, and you've got some rando lender? You're going to be doing this the entire transaction. Please tell me this mortgage is going to be good. We're going to tie up this property for 45 days. I mean, this is why you need a lender that you can know for sure. Hey, I tell you what, we'll do the deal, but you've got to use my lender. Like, you guys are making me nervous. My people would rather stay in the market and wait for somebody else. Like, these are the conversations. Save the deal, get it to your lender, and know, right, that this deal is going to be a good deal. And even if you can't get them to use your lender, hey, you know what? Based on what just happened, I at least need you to get to pre-approved with my lender so that I know you're good. You don't have to use them, right? But I want my lender to look at your file before we're willing to accept this offer. Steph and Linda.
Before on the listing side, before we do anything when an offer comes in, is we get on the phone to the lender, and we have a big conversation, and we vet them, and we make sure that they are 100% confident that this thing is going to go to closing. So if you get on the phone and have that conversation right away when an offer comes in, it can eliminate a lot of these problems. Because you get a much better sense of how solid the buyer is. And if there is an issue, I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
Oh, no. Yeah. And if there's red flags or issues, then you can reach out to the buyer's agent and say, hey, we don't feel confident in what your lender is telling us about the status of the strength of your buyer. And then you can ask them to run it through our preferred lender. So before you take your seller and put them under contract and pull them off the market and do all this stuff, and then try to set up, put out a fire after the fact, get to it beforehand.
Yeah, I'll tell you, here's the red flag. When you call the lender and they go, you say, hey, I just got an offer from John and Mary on 123 Main Street. I just wanted to follow up with you and just see kind of what, and the guy's like, who? If they don't even know that name, that's scary, right? Unless it's a really high volume lender that's got that much in the pipe that they literally might have forgotten some of the clients. They've got so many pre-approvals out there, but they are, a really good lender. And some of the best are definitely going to be like that. But most of the lenders out there, they should know their clients on a first name basis, right? When you call them and you give them a name, they should know those people, just like you guys know your people. Go ahead, Jeff and Linda.
On the buy side, we always ask our lender to put in a call. If we've submitted an offer, we ask our lender to put in a call to that listing agent and, like proactively let that listing agent know how strong our buyer is. So that especially if we're in a multiple offer situation, they're hearing it from the horse's mouth, and they've got that confidence because this lender has reached out to them and has absolutely let them know, hey, we are so confident, about our buyers and the strength of their offer and all of that stuff. That puts your client way ahead of the pack, because there are very few buyers agents who ask their lenders to do that.
Yeah, I mean, look, we're trying to take the pressure off of the listing agents here. So if we can get a call from the lender into the listing agent, it's one less thing that listing agent has to do. So it just is a professional way to go about it. Again, if I'm on that listing side and Steve's got his offer in, he's first, it's good, we've got dialogue, I get a call from his lender, he's already got an inspector in line, they could be out there on Thursday, and then I got somebody else that just emailed me. Even if it's $5,000-$10,000 higher, that's scary, because you guys know how many pieces it takes to put this whole puzzle together, and we got to deal with these people for 30 to 60 days. Right? So control the parties as much as you can. It leads to less deals falling apart for sure. Who else has got a topic that you just want to kind of throw out on the table? What's going on in your world on a deal that you learned? What do we got? A lot of new agents on here. There's got to be questions. What's running through your heads? We've got so much knowledge on this call. Throw some stuff out there. What are you struggling with? What do you need help with? Why don't we go back and talk a little bit more on the social media stuff, because I've been kind of on this journey, and I want you guys to come on this journey with me. And I wanted to just give you a little bit more information on kind of some of the research that I'm doing and why I think this stuff is just so important, and how to kind of execute on it, even if you're just getting started. So we talked about first, and Bob, I put you on the spot back in the day, but the first thing, is much of these blogs that I read, videos that I watch, even some of the short form stuff on how to excel here, is that it is going to be hard at the beginning. You know, you're learning a new skill, but it's no different than practicing anything else. We're just trying to get better by doing the reps. I feel like I'm, you know, just in posting to my stories, I can post to my story, you know, probably 3 times faster than I could a week ago. Yeah, and I'm somebody who I've used Instagram before. I've done a good bit of posting. I was doing a video a day for I think 90 days. The other thing that I've realized is just how many darn different features there are in there on how to put the text in there, how to do an at mention, how to add a sticker, how to, use a filter. Like all of this stuff has just been trial and error. Every time I'm posting my story, I try something a little bit different. I try and add some music. I try and add a filter. I try and add a sticker. I just go through the process. If I can't figure it out, I'll ask Perplexity, hey, I'm trying to do this on my story. How do I do it? And I'll just respond back. Oh, go here, go here, go here. Hey, I still don't get it. Can you send me a video that would show me how to do it? Okay, no problem. Here's a video. Bob.
that I wanted to highlight, because I know I brought this up last week about social media and not really knowing that much about it. I did go in and ask my AI how to be successful, what type of information to feed to potential people. So it was really quite interesting how much these AIs can really help you out. And the AI gave me a total, well, of course, they just wrote out everything that I need to do. And they really, really stress about being relevant. Also to give, and be consistent with your videos or whatever you decide to do. So I'm choosing Punta Gorda, and my first stop is going to be the courthouse, because I love talking about history and I want to talk about the history of the city here. And the AI was the one that suggested that I talk about certain things where I'm choosing. And so if anyone else is struggling like I am, ask your AI. They will come up with a total plan of how you need to be successful on social media. I just wanted to share that. So I feel a lot better about media
Love it.
last week.
Awesome. And you've started. So that's really half the battle, right? Just get started, get posting. I'm following a guy who, if you guys want to take this a little bit more serious, following a guy named Callaway. I forget his first name, but his account's Callaway with a K. And he's like one of these guys that's gone viral 50 times or some nonsense. He started in 2022. Like, he's a baby. Couple of years on the platform. It took him I don't even know how many videos, 20 videos before he even got over 1,000 views or something like that. And it took 100 videos to get over 100,000. And I think it was something I probably had 100 hours in before I got any kind of traction. Right. And so that's what I'm saying. It's going to be hard. But once you kind of get it, it's no different than mastering your CRM, learning how to do a better buyer presentation, any of this stuff. It just takes the reps. I've noticed I don't know how hard I've been going at the stories a week. And the first couple of days, it was 30 views a story. Then it was 60 views a story. I'm up to 90 views a story in 1 week of just consistent posting. So basically the algorithm saying, hey, this guy keeps posting. People are looking, serve it up again. So I haven't, it's the same, type of stuff I've been putting out there. It's like the quality is not any better. But I'm already seeing, more and more engagement from just being consistent with it. So anybody want to chime in on this? Or just a quick tip or hint or something that's working? I'll tell you point number 2 that I wrote down. So it's going to be hard. Point number 2 that I wrote down is to share your best content. Right. When you're going to post to your main wall, I guess, if that's what you're going to call it, we want to think about that as like a storefront window. You're walking down Fifth Avenue and the nice stuff is in the window. There's a lot of stuff, but the nice stuff is in the window. So the stuff that just is kind of here and then gone is your story. Hey, here's a little something, not super polished. Just wanted to share this. When you feel like you got something good, that's storefront material. That's going to go on your wall. That's going to live there forever. right? So think of your wall, or I don't know if somebody wants to correct me on the term, but your grid, your whatever, your actual feed. That is where you want to put your best stuff. Third thing I wrote down was you can say the same thing from different perspectives. Just something that I've learned. Like, let's say you want to educate your consumers about I don't know, the importance of a home inspection, right? So you can do one where you're just giving advice. Here's the importance of a home inspection, right? You could do a case study. Hey, here's what, these guys did a case study. Here's what happened on people that, did a home inspection versus people that didn't. They got X number of dollars back on repair requests or something like that. I don't know, whatever case study you could find. You could do cautionary tales. Hey, I think home inspections are really, really important. I've had a couple of clients that are kicking themselves. We explained the importance of a home inspection. They decided to waive their inspections anyway. They really wanted the house, and now they're dealing with a couple of issues. So we can do a cautionary tale. You can do all of that is I'm just trying to say that a lot of times you feel like you're stuck on what to say, but you can say it in a bunch of different ways. If you've got something that you feel like you really want it to resonate, you can say it from a seller's perspective, or you can say it from a buyer's perspective. Right? If we're going to talk about home inspections from a seller's perspective, we could talk about the importance of doing a pre-home inspection prior to listing your home. Right? Why would I want to do that as a seller? Right? No different than why they do certified pre-owned homes or cars. Right? Do you feel more confident as the buyer buying a certified pre-owned or just a regular car at a used car lot? And we're going to feel more confident buying a certified pre-owned. So, hey, this house has already had a home inspection. Here's what we found. We fixed 1, 2, and 3. We're letting the buyers know 4, 5, and 6 are going to need some fixing. We're not willing to take that on. Or, hey, we found all of this stuff. We fixed everything. Or, hey, here's what's going on with the house. We're not in a position to fix any of it. We just want to let you know. This way here, we come to market, we get our offers, and we shouldn't have to worry about that deal that we accept falling apart. Because, right, and we lose all that momentum, and now we've got to take less. Because all buyers would be aware of, hey, this is the condition of the home right now. Let's just pause there. What are you hearing? What's resonating? Am I convincing anybody that we've got to do some more social? Couple of thumbs. Yeah. What are we nervous about? If you're on this call, right, and you're just, I'm not doing it. What is the thought process? So,
Hi, good morning, everyone. I think social is important, right? I think it's one of those things that a lot of people are not socially savvy when it goes to be on Instagram or Facebook. I myself wasn't, but and now I'm looking at trying to get an Instagram page started. And I had this conversation with my wife and my younger kids that are more savvy about this. And the thing is that we came to a conclusion is what would bring people's eyes onto the page. And sometimes it's something as simple as an engaging post, a fun post, a quick post. Hey, what do you think about this? Or would you rather do this or that? And if you don't write well, or you don't know how to do the icons like I don't, use AI. The stuff is there, and make the Instagram work for you. Try to link it to your CRMs, try to link it to your Y logos, try to link it to create a list. Maybe it's something that's going to help generate a sphere for you. And even if 2 people sign up, those are 2 more people that you got. And those are 2 people that you could lead and follow up than not doing it. So, take the risk, put yourself out there. I know it's crazy. It's uncomfortable for me. I'm going to be starting it new, but you have to do it. And what Bob said about asking the AI, I did the same thing. It will give you a 30-day plan. If you have no knowledge of what to do, the AI is there to help you. So I think you come with a good point with this. It's a learning curve for everyone.
Awesome. Thanks for sharing, Martin. You with us, buddy? You're muted if you're trying to go. Alex.
So I've actually always been following this guy on YouTube. He's a EXP agent out of Calgary, Canada, I think. But all he does is he puts testimonial videos about other agents on his YouTube page and how people grew to 5 million, 10 million, $20 million in gross sales volume just using YouTube. And the thing is, it sounds intimidating, and a lot of agents probably don't know what to say or don't know how to say it. It's right. You can use ChatGPT for the majority of it. But when I went back to look at, like, this one guy in Texas, all he did was new builds, and he gets like $20 million in gross sales every single year now. His videos were absolute garbage. I mean, the camera footage sucked. Everything sucked. He's shaking through his words and everything else, but he's putting it out there and staying consistent. And the more consistent he became, the more people started to use him. And obviously, the better you end up getting. But it's just, some people have the fear of actually getting started at it or not knowing what to say or do. But the most important thing is just keep putting it out there on social media, having your friends and family always seeing that you are present, you are an agent. And most importantly, on YouTube, people use it as a search engine nowadays, similar to Google. I know I do if I have any questions. So it's just pretty incredible to see, like, some of these people who are very successful as realtors who don't want to do cold calls or other, door knocking, but they're putting their videos out there. And no matter how terrible they are, you're always going to find, out of the 10,000 people looking, you're always going to find 2 or 3 who's going to end up working with you. And then it just kind of circulates and keeps going after that.
Gary Vee recently, and I mean, this guy is at the top of his game when it comes, or at the top of the game when it comes to social. He recently just posted something out there about how long it takes. And he put some of his original videos out there, and they are brutal, absolutely brutal. If you guys shot your first video tomorrow, because of all the tech that and the filters and stickers and all the stuff that you can do to make it fun, it'd be 10 times better than his first one, right? But he did it, and he got out there, and he got the reps, and I'm going to encourage you guys to do the same thing. And I love, like, what Bob was saying, just talk about stuff that you're comfortable talking about, even if it's not real estate, right? Even if you're talking about some other stuff just to get a following and get comfortable with it, they're going to find out because you're going to occasionally drop a real estate thing in there, right? So if you're a reader and you want to be like promoting some book that you just read, throw it up there. Do a quick little book review. Hey, if you love, sci-fi, I just read this amazing book, boom, throw it up there, cover of the book, something like that. And I think you just use stuff initially that you feel comfortable with sharing and trying to basically help others. It's kind of further down on my list, and we'll get to some of this other stuff maybe tomorrow, but operationalizing generosity, right? That is a way to think about how you're using your social platforms. Is when you guys learn something, figure something out, you want to share it. You want to go help somebody. Don't just keep it in here, right? Get it out to the world. And if it's real estate related, great. But you guys have seen, like, some of these hacks. I was today years old when I learned X. But if you figure something out like that, share it. I promise you, other people don't know. So we got time for one more comment, one more share. What do you got? What are we hearing? Well, let's wrap it up with, I'm encouraging the people that are already good on social. I know we've got a few people in here already. I want you guys doubling down, tripling down, more and more and more. So I think there's still plenty of room to capture more market share in that space. And if you haven't started yet, let's get you started. Thanks for joining this Monday morning. I really appreciate you guys. What a great call, and have yourselves an awesome Monday. We'll do it again tomorrow morning. Take care.
Have a great one, guys.
Thank you. Have a great day.
Have a great day, guys.